Okay, so we'll start. Am I audible there? Please check. So, hello, hi, namaskar. I'm Prashil Badvaik. I'm a chemical engineering graduate from VNIT, and today I'll teach CRE to the students connected here. And we are on the way to complete our heterogeneous CRE portion. We started with balance over a cylindrical pore, and then we derived one formula for that, and we defined one dimensional number, that was Thiele modulus. So we found that Thiele modulus is phi, and what is that formula? Phi is mt, that is, anyone, m into l. Okay, what was our m? K by de into your l, right? So if you found out or if you find what is unit of this, it will be dimensionless for first order reaction, right? For first order reaction, so it is dimensionless. So from this you can see this Thiele modulus is directly proportional to, here Thiele modulus is directly proportional to rate of reaction divided by rate of diffusion, right? Here on numerator you are having K, and in denominator you are having DE, right? So it is showing rate of reaction is on numerator, and here in denominator you will be having rate of diffusion. So based on that we can have different formulas or different relations for Thiele modulus. So here you can see second is resistance. Okay, so Thiele modulus is directly proportional to resistance to diffusion divided by resistance to reaction. And then if I convert that into time, so it will be again time for diffusion to time for reaction, because if there is high resistance, then time will also be high, right? So these are three different forms by which I am explaining this Thiele modulus. Okay, so I explained this in previous class. I'll upload this video if possible, because I have a recording of this, but because of some issues I am unable to upload. Okay, as I'll get to that, I'll upload that. Okay, so now in today's class we'll be having some different formulas. Here you can see this LC is your characteristics length, right? Characteristics length, LC, right? What is LC here? LC is, suppose this is your volume of PFR or volume of your pore, anything you can consider pore, and it is having length L. Okay, so suppose this volume is V total, and your area by which there is reaction. Okay, so suppose air is flowing over surface, so air will diffuse inside and it will react over the surface, right? So this is your surface. So your characteristics length will be LC, that is your volume divided by your surface area that is available for reaction. Okay, so you write surface area available for reaction. Similarly in heat transfer we are having characteristic length. There also we are finding out volume divided what is surface area available for heat transfer, right? So it is surface area available for reaction. So if you calculate it for LC for cylinder, suppose if pore is a cylinder, this is your catalyst. Catalyst has pores. I am assuming this pore is cylindrical in shape, cylindrical in shape, and for that LC would be area divided volume divided by area. So volume is your pi r square into length divided by your area is 2 pi r into L, right? That is your circumference multiplied by length. So you will be having r by 2 as your characteristic length. This is first. In second, if I derive for sphere, you can write LC is equals to volume divided by surface area. So volume is 4 by 3 pi r cube divided by surface area is 4 pi r square. You calculate it. Then third I am writing for flat plate. Flat plate is normally this. Okay, so here you can see volume is length into breadth into height, and your area would be this area plus bottom area. So you'll be having 2 into length into breadth. So you will be having LC as, based on this, thickness divided by 2, that is your h by 2. So this is you consider as thickness h, right? So this is about characteristic length. Then I'll define one new definition, that is your effectiveness factor. Similar to your heat transfer, here is effectiveness factor. Okay, so whenever I'm writing effectiveness factor, right, you are having catalyst cylindrical in shape, air is flowing here, so air is your reactant and that has to diffuse inside your catalyst for reaction. Okay, so here you can see surface concentration is CAS, and as I am moving inside, concentration is decreasing, right? So CAS to your dCA by dt is equals to 0. So this is your concentration profile. Okay, so this is concentration decreasing, so I am writing decreasing concentration of A. Okay, decrease in concentration of A. So because of pore diffusion, you can see because of pore diffusion there is decreasing concentration. Pore diffusion, there is decrease in concentration, right? Suppose if there is no pore diffusion, right? If there is no pore diffusion, so तुम्हारा concentration will be same as surface concentration. Suppose your pore size is small, or you could say there is no diffusion, directly there is air flowing, and here surface concentration is a CAS. So here you can see everywhere CAS will be there because size of pore is very small, or you could say there is no diffusion, like what diffusion is taking place here. There is no diffusion. Everywhere concentration is CAS. So I can say here concentration profile will be CAS throughout, right? CAS throughout. But because of pore diffusion, you can see there is decrease in concentration. I hope you are clear with this. Because of pore diffusion there is decreasing concentration, and we took average concentration because concentration is decreasing and we need to find out a single concentration. So at that time we found average concentration by integrating your concentration over length L. This is length of pore divided by length, right? Suppose if there is no pore diffusion, there is no decrease in concentration of A, right? Are you guys clear with this? Anyone with any doubt? Should I move? Okay, so you can see pore diffusion. Okay, Pranit, any question? Okay, okay. So here you can see because of pore diffusion, there is decreasing concentration. So pore diffusion is basically acting as a resistance, right? Is equivalent to your resistance. Okay. So am I audible there? Hello? Okay. So you can see here pore diffusion is acting as a resistance, and because of which there is decreasing concentration. So if there is no pore diffusion, there is no resistance. So if I write one formula where I'll define effectiveness factor as eta, that is your effectiveness factor, you can see here the formula is comparing your rate of reaction when there is pore diffusion and when there is no pore diffusion, right? So efficiency as rate of reaction without pore diffusion. So first you write with pore diffusion because efficiency should be less than 1. So with pore diffusion and divided by rate of reaction without pore diffusion, right? Without pore diffusion. So that is a formula for effectiveness factor. So effectiveness factor would be, which one will be higher? Rate of reaction without pore diffusion, right? Without pore diffusion there is no decrease in concentration and your concentration will be higher, and it is CAS always, right? So at higher concentration, you know, there will be high rate of reaction. Okay, so here when I'm writing formula in case of rate, so minus RA you can write here with pore diffusion, and second will be minus RA without pore diffusion, right? So what is minus RA? K into Ca to the power n divided by here also K into C to the power n. Now can you guys please tell me what is Ca in case of pore diffusion and what is Ca when there is no pore diffusion? Ca. So what should I write as suffix to Ca? Anyone? When there is pore diffusion? Any guess? Okay, so you can write here we got that formula, okay, that's okay. In case of pore diffusion, right, whenever there is pore diffusion, I told you there is decreasing concentration, right? Decrease in concentration. And whenever there is decreasing concentration, in order to have a value, what I did, I calculated average concentration, that is Ca bar. Okay, so whenever there is pore diffusion, right, with pore diffusion, that is your numerator, with pore diffusion is your numerator, so Ca would be your Ca average for nth order reaction. I am writing, maybe you can consider n is equals to 1, but for nth order reaction, when there is pore diffusion, I need to consider average concentration, and whenever there is no pore diffusion, right, no pore diffusion, there is no decrease in concentration, no decrease in concentration, so your concentration will be CAS always, right? Whether it is at surface, whether it is at center of your pore, concentration will not decrease and it will be same as CAS. So I am writing here CAS, right? Now out of these two, what will be my relation between CAS and Ca average? Which one will be higher? CAS will be always at higher value, right? And why I considered here K and K? Here K is, you can say, isothermal condition, so you can cancel it out, or you can take K1 and K2 here, no matter. Okay, so if there is isothermal condition, there will be no effect on temperature, so there will be no change in K1 and K2. So you can write efficiency when there is isothermal case and N is equals to 1 as Ca bar divided by Cas, right? So efficiency is always lower than 1. Okay, so what is this efficiency factor is telling you? Anyone would like to add here what it physically is telling you? How your pore diffusion, or you can write resistance, is affecting rate, right? So you can write it as with pore diffusion is your actual case, so minus Ra actual divided by minus Ra ideal, you can say. This could be a formula, right? How your pore diffusion is affecting your rate, okay, or how your concentration is going to decrease because of pore diffusion, right? So I hope you are clear with this. Now for efficiency, we got this equation. I'm writing equation 1. So what we derived for average concentration, average concentration is equals to, in previous class we integrated it, right? Tan h ml, tan hyperbolic ml divided by tan h ml upon ml, right? One term is missing here, that is CAS in denominator, or you can say average concentration is this factors times your surface concentration. Okay, so this is your average concentration. Now can you look at your equation 1 and equation 2? What will be efficiency then? Yes, okay, so this is your formula. When what is constant here? Pore is cylindrical, order of reaction is 1, and isothermal case. Okay, so for nth order reaction, that is n is equals to, or n is higher than 1, what was our equation when n is equals to 1? When we balanced, that is d square Ca divided by dx square plus m square Ca, right, is equals to 0. So this was our equation when order of reaction was 1, right? And here if you go back and find out, we will be having d square Ca divided by dx2 plus, it was minus sign here, here it is minus 2k double dash Ca divided by r into d or you can write in terms of K also. So it is, instead of this you can have this also, that is your K is equals to 2K double dash divided by R. So you replace this, so you'll be having this equation also, right? We derived this in previous class. Minus KCA divided by DE is equals to 0. And how we got this? We derived it, okay? Using your minus RA1 into minus RA dash is equals to your minus RA. We compared this and calculated, right? Volume, and this is your surface area. So this was our final equation. यहाँ पे you can see order of reaction is 1, right? Suppose if order of reaction is greater than 1, then you will be getting non-linear equation, right? This is your homogeneous one, and homogeneous is always your linear one, like you can easily solve that. But in case of order greater than 1, you will be having non-linear terms, right? Non-linear terms, right? Maybe I guess you know what is linear and non-linear. There are 3 rules, right? Based on that you can differentiate, right, whether it is linear or non-linear. So here you can see this, because of this power there is non-linear equation, and this is difficult to solve. It has been solved using your COMSOL and some other CFD and various other softwares which are available, and it has been found that for order greater than 1, nth order reaction with catalyst cylindrical in shape, you will get this equation for phi. Phi is your Thiele modulus, and that is, okay, for n is equals to 1, what is Thiele modulus? Phi is K by DE. So here also you will be having K by DE. Along with this, you will be having one extra term, that is order n plus 1 by 2, and next will be concentration will be here. So CAS to the power n minus 1. Okay. Along with this term, you are having extra term as this and this. For n greater than 1, you can write. Okay. So this is your equation. Am I audible there? Okay, I thought there is lag. Now we are up to here, how to calculate phi for n order reaction. Then okay, so for n is equals to 1 and cylindrical catalyst, cylindrical pore, you can say, not catalyst, cylindrical pore, we got efficiency as tan h ml upon ml. Okay, so this is, you can say, first case. Case 2 will be for spherical catalyst. For spherical catalyst, you will be having a different formula as efficiency of spherical pore. Spherical pore. If that pore is spherical, then you will be having 1 by phi. Wait, I'll rejoin. Okay, so you write for spherical pore 1 by 5 into, in bracket, 1 divided by 10 3 5 minus 1 upon 3 5. This is just for your information. If there is change in shape of pore, how formula for efficiency will change or effectiveness will change. Then efficiency or effectiveness for flat plate, or flat slab, you can say. So that is just simply in shape, it is not a spherical one, or it is just a flat pore, kind of this. Okay, so in that case you will be having same formula as this, because more or less it is having cylindrical shape. So you can have tan h ml upon ml. So you can see here for cylindrical one and your flat plate, you are having same formula. Just you need to remember for spherical pore this equation, right? So third one is different, that is spherical pore. Then okay, so we'll see now what is your relation between efficiency, that is effectiveness factor eta and phi, right? So can you please guess what could be that relation? First please write down what is definition of phi and what is definition of effectiveness factor, and based on that you can guess. Meanwhile I write cases, case 1, then case 2, case 3 and case 4. When phi is low, phi is less than 0.4. Second one is phi that is greater than 4, you can say high value. Then third case, when resistances are comparable. And final is when phi is equals to 1. Okay, so what are you finding using your, okay, wait, okay, you can write these cases. In first one you can see it is low, so your phi is low, that is your resistance to mass transfer is low. So if resistance is low, then there is less decrease in concentration. Abhi concentration is not decreasing, that means you will be having nearly surface concentration, so your efficiency is nearly equal to, or effectiveness factor is nearly equal to 1, Then second case, it is exactly opposite. If phi is high, then your resistance to mass transfer is high, and if your resistance to mass transfer is high, then there is decrease in concentration, right? Or and you can say CAS will be very high as compared to CA, so this concentration is decreasing, and because of this there is decrease in rate and decrease in corresponding effectiveness factor. So you will be having low effectiveness factor. Third case is when both the resistances are comparable. So both means your rate of reaction and rate of mass transfer, or you can say resistance to reaction and resistance to mass transfer. So if both are comparable, then you know what is your formula, that is effectiveness factor is tan H ml upon ml. Okay, and when phi is equals to 1, then you can substitute ml is equals to 1 here, that ml is phi is equals to 1. So you can find tan H1 divided by 1. So tan hyperbolic 1 you can calculate from your calculator. There is one term, hyperbolic function. So using that, if you calculate, or simply you can write down using tan hyperbolic definition, that is E. What was our formula? Yeah, okay. So if you divide that 2 to this 2, then you'll get tan value, because you know what is cos and what is sine. So you divide that, then you'll be having tan value 0. Please check once. Suppose you will be having e power x, e power minus x. First is in case of sine there is negative term, and you in tan you will be having sine at top as numerator. So we'll be having e power x plus e power minus x divided by e power x minus e power minus x. I'm having some internet issues here. Or using calculator also you can calculate e power x, then e power minus x plus positive, and then e power x. Okay, so it is coming out to be 0.7615, right? So roughly you can remember this value. When phi is 1, you will be having 76% efficiency, right? 76% efficiency. And if I draw this, you will be having this kind of curve. On x-axis you will be having efficiency, maximum value is nearly equal to 1, that is effectiveness is 1, here it is 5. Then you can divide into intervals. Okay, after dividing you will get this is 0.4 and this is 4.0, that is greater than 4. This is, you can say, intermediate one. So here you can see when there is phi less than 0.4, efficiency is nearly equal to 1. So graph is kind of this. Then tan h ml upon ml will be there, so you will be having this kind of curve here. Okay, and when there is phi greater than 4, you will be having straight decrease in concentration or decrease in your efficiency. Okay, so this kind of profile you will get. So what I wrote here is, okay, you can write when phi is less than 0.4, you write it as weak pore diffusion resistance regime, that is weak pore WPROR, or I write weak pore diffusion resistance regime, weak pore diffusion resistance, right? Because your phi is less, that means your resistance to mass transfer is less, that means your weak pore diffusion resistance region. Okay, and similarly when phi is greater than 4, it is high pore diffusion resistance regime. You just write that, okay? High pore diffusion resistant regime. Okay, so this is your WPDRR, and here it is high pore diffusion resistant regime. So this is how I am dividing this graph into 3 parts, right? So you know this. Okay, based on this I am just telling you what is asked in GATE exam. Suppose there is weak pore diffusion resistance regime, and second is high pore diffusion resistance regime. So basic, you can tell what is phi here and what is phi here. Less than 0.4 in case of weak, and it is, I think there is lag, it is greater than 4 when it is high pore diffusion resistance regime. Now we can see for weak pore diffusion resistance regime, first point here, first point, right? Now you write second point. Mass transfer resistance is low, and here it is mass transfer resistance is high, low. Okay, the next thing you write is third point. Suppose if there is low mass transfer resistance, so decrease in concentration will be low, and here decrease in concentration is high. Fourth point is so here resistance to mass transfer is low, that means you are having rapid diffusion. Okay, rapid diffusion is fast, you can write. This is what basic, or I'll write just key points considering your gate. Okay, so if you remember this chart, no need to remember because you know what is concept, just I am writing this as note. Diffusion is faster. Okay, you write here slow diffusion, and if you check previous year question, this has been already asked, so just I am writing this. Then fifth point is, if diffusion is low, then you will be having rate as high. Okay, because we are comparing two resistance, one is your mass transfer and second is your reaction. So here you can see diffusion is faster. Okay, so slow reaction, and if slow diffusion, then reaction is faster. Reaction is faster, right? Now I'll explain one point here. Suppose this is your size of pore and this is your size of pore, where diffusion will be, or where diffusion resistance is high and where diffusion resistance is low. Mass transfer resistance, where is high and where is low. Anyone? Mass transfer resistance is how? Okay, so suppose you can see here concentration is CAS, here is CAS, right? So this pore size is low, you can see. So mass transfer will be low, right? So here high chances of decreasing concentration, right? Because it is getting low space for air to get into system or your inside pore. So here higher decrease in concentration. Are you getting? And here size is somehow higher one. So you can see air can easily diffuse. So if concentration is CAS here, here higher concentration or lower, I am writing in same term. Here I wrote higher decrease in concentration. It is lower decrease in concentration or less decrease in concentration you can write. So suppose I am writing here Ca1 and Ca2. So you can see Ca2 will be higher as compared to Ca1. Are you getting this point? Because of pore size. Are you following this? Okay. So you can see when pore size is high, there is low mass transfer resistance, right? Because your concentration decrease is low. So here you can see less mass transfer resistance because size of pore is high. Okay, so you write 6 point here also, here also. Here you can see mass transfer resistance is low. Mass transfer resistance is low. That means high pore size. And here it is pore size is small. Okay, pore size is small. Then this is about your size of pore. Okay, don't confuse with size of catalyst. Okay, here using this you can see I am writing another thing. Seventh one point, that is particle size. That was pore size. This is particle size. Here also particle size. Your Thiele modulus is phi is equals to m into LC, right? So phi is directly proportional to your characteristic length, that is directly proportional to particle size, right? Are you getting this? So here you can see Thiele modulus is low, that means you are having particle size small. Okay, so particle size is this same point is small or low, you can say small, just understand this. And then particle size in case of high pore diffusion resistance, LC is high, so you'll be having high particle size. So don't confuse between pore size and particle size. So this question has been already asked, pore size and particle size. So you need to be careful while writing pore size and particle size. They generally ask if there is weak pore diffusion resistance regime, that is WPDRR, then your particle size is what? If there is high pore diffusion resistance regime, then particle size is what? Or pore size alternatively you can say. Okay, so this is about your gate, just shortcut points. Okay, then what remains? So we'll cover yes, fifth point. Fifth one. Okay, so what we actually did, I told you your K overall is equals to 1 by K reaction plus 1 by K mass transfer, right? And here I also told you one which is lower or the lower rate is on controlling one, right? One which is lower coefficient in case of coefficient, not resistance. So one which is lower, that is controlling. That is controlling. Okay. Slowest step is a controlling one. Slowest step is a controlling one. So मुझे बताओ, suppose here I am just comparing two. So one will be high, one will be low. Here when I told you your mass transfer resistance is low, that means you are having high. Resistance is low means mass transfer is high, right? Mass transfer is high, that means comparatively reaction will be slower. Are you getting now? Similarly, opposite is here, right? If mass transfer resistance is high, that means your mass transfer is low, and mass transfer is low means reaction will be fast. So that is just a point. Okay. So if possible, we can cover some topics, or we can continue in tomorrow's class. Okay. Now only short portion is remain. Okay, so we'll cover that in tomorrow's class, right? Please write down this, and you can find different graphs for this, and with respect to order how it is varying, but actual your figure will be this, or your graph will be this. In weak power diffusion resistance regime, you will be having efficiency nearly equal to 1, and as Thiele modulus is increasing, your efficiency is decreasing, or effectiveness factor is decreasing. So till today's class we have covered this only, and in tomorrow's class we are going to have some additional topics on this same only. Just suppose if you understand today's class, then it is very easy to understand tomorrow's class and all. It is similar to that, just extension, and we are just looking at how temperature is affecting your Thiele modulus and efficiency, then how order of reaction is affecting that, and then how can you get falsified kinetics. Suppose it is showing your order is 1, but actually it is not order 1 because of your resistance to mass transfer and Thiele modulus. Then we are going to look at how temperature profile, yes, I told you. In this case you will come to know it is similar to your Arrhenius equation, but there is single factor change. That is, everything will be divided by 2. I'll explain in tomorrow's class, but that is very important when I'm telling you Thiele modulus. So that will be variation of Thiele modulus with respect to time. So that will cover in tomorrow's class. Okay. So thank you so much for connecting today. We'll meet in tomorrow's class.